So basically, anybody that gets hit by this big line of storms here as it moves off to the east is going to have the potential to receive damaging winds. Okay. Yeah, we're also getting reports of windows being blown out of businesses in the Weatherford area. So that was even before the storm came through. Fort from downtown Dallas, as they originally started sounding the tornado sirens because we had that destructive severe thunderstorm warning, and that still applies. But they're probably going to start sounding them again because of the actual tornado warning that we've got issued here, both at the same time. Holy smokes. Glenn McLennan says, Ryan, thanks for the early warning. Tornado missed my house in Shreveport by 2 streets again. Holy smokes. Glenn, I'm glad you're okay. That is so this is once another video here of the tornado near Shreveport, Louisiana earlier. Wow. Wow. This Ryan, thanks for the early warning. Okay. All right. Back over here to Dallas. We have a significant, severe weather situation unfolding here in Dallas. The sirens are going off. I know. We want everybody to get in their tornado safe spot. We want everybody to take shelter right now. And it doesn't even matter if you're in the polygon. Okay. The whole city of Dallas is under a destructive, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado or not. That's going to cause problems. Let's come back over here to this. Matt is sending me this video from the DFW airport. And as you can see, things are pretty wild out there with, once again, 70 to 80 mile per hour winds, hail, lightning, thunder, all that. And then somewhere in there, there could even be a spin up tornado. You never see it coming. But that's why we want you in your safe spot and not looking for it. Okay, so some of the stronger winds are getting ready to actually move into the downtown Dallas area now within the next couple of minutes. Richardson, you're feeling it. Plano, Texas, you're feeling it. Garland, Mesquite, Riley, Wilmer, you guys still have a couple of minutes. And notice how the stronger winds are actually happening right here out in front. There's a gust front that's occurring here. The rain, the heavy rain really won't start falling until possibly several minutes after the winds start blowing really hard. I'm getting reports of major damage in Fulbright and Red River County, Texas, 7 miles off of Highway 37 and Highway 411. I did see that the person that's sending this report said they saw a tornado touch down near Bogota, Texas, and that was from that earlier storm that we were keeping an eye on. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody that's sending me or tagging me in updates. There's a lot of them out here. So please continue to do that. Remember, if you are sending in reports and they're novel, please also tag your local National Weather Service. And don't do anything unless you could do so safely. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Ryan, I just spoke to Brian Allen. He was back there in that PDS severe, and he's saying that he's boxed in by power lines. There's multiple roads. There's nowhere he can go. They're all live still. So he's just stressing that there should not be people walking around. Don't be walking through
A
these
new
puddles
tornado
because there's
warning
live
has
lines
been
down
issued.
everywhere.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Riley. One of our storm chasers, Brian Allen. I guess his feed's still down, or did we just put somebody else up there? Uh, let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Probably Chris, right? Yeah. Um, we've got one of our storm chasers who actually intercepted this storm as it was approaching Fort Worth. He's got power lines down all around him. They're still live. Yeah, we're just waiting to see what's going to happen next there. Carly, maybe Brandon Clement. Is that frozen there, or is that just pointed towards a light or something? Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Um, we still have two tornado warnings. The newest one's going to be for Coryell County and Lampus, Lampasas County in Texas. And then we also have the existing tornado warning for Dallas County, Texas as well. We definitely have some strong winds coming through Dallas now. I'm assuming that we're going to see them in the Radar Omega app here soon. There's one camera in the Radar Omega app here that is in Dallas. Now, I don't know how well we'll be able to gauge the winds from this. This looks like somebody's back porch. I don't know. I don't know what this. Usually, it's like tower cams and stuff, but the gust front that's causing some of the power flashes and the damaging winds is literally getting ready to go through this area. So hopefully that little doggo there gets to shelter that's walking around. Um, and then of course we do also we can see Dallas from the skyline camera here, and you can see that the wind is definitely picking up out there as the storm approaches the city. Remember, it's not there yet. We're seeing the initial gust front here, but look at how much it's rocking that camera back and forth as the storm gets closer and closer. uh, John Wells. John Wells says we've got quarter size hail and measured 65-mile-an-hour winds northeast of Gunter, Texas. Northeast of Gunter, Texas there. So that's actually that's in the obviously this is a strong storm that we're looking at here, but that's in a weaker part of the storm that's getting ready to happen here in Dallas. Yep, and things are picking up pretty quickly here on the Earth cam. Remember, if you're just now tuning in, we have a tornado warning in Dallas, and that's kind of what we're focused in on right now. But there's also a lot of other things happening. That newest tornado warning is actually quite a bit to the south, near Kemper, Texas. We have a pretty good area of rotation trying to show up here, and there could be a tornado trying to form somewhere near Topsy and Books Crossing. And that's going to move over towards Comanche Village and St. Elijah Village in Texas. This is north and west of Killeen. This is actually quite a bit south of Dallas as well. So this is a big line, guys. This is a huge storm. It's not just affecting Dallas, but we're kind of focused on Dallas right now because that's where a lot of the damaging wind is happening. But we're going to be tracking this throughout the night, even after it gets past Dallas. All right, I'm going to take our radar over here, take a look at some of the more recent wind reports that are coming in. Looks like on the northwestern side of Dallas, we had a 71-mile-an-hour wind report, 80 miles per hour on the northern side of Fort Worth not too long ago. Yeah, so some of the places where some of the stronger winds are going to start to happen now. So here's how this is going to work. You're going to get hit by a wall of wind pretty much in places like Garland, down here near Hutchins and Lancaster. Things might calm down for a minute, but then as soon as the precipitation starts back here in this part of the line, winds are going to ramp back up. So you have two different opportunities of really strong winds, but it's going to be a sustained kind of thing for probably 30 minutes or so. And that's why we think there's going to be so much wind damage. Oh boy. Oh boy. Guys, this house, once again, I told you this looked like somebody's back porch. They've got a fire going and it's blowing all over the place. Son, that is not good. This is a live view of a camera here in the Radar Omega app. You can see that the winds are really starting to pick up. Uh, but unfortunately, somebody was sitting out there enjoying the evening with their roasted marshmallows, and now the winds are starting to blow that the fire in the fireplace around a little bit. This is a great reminder for anybody that's watching that is out ahead of this storm. If you've got anything outside that you need to take care of, you got to put the dogs in the kennel. You got to put or you got to bring them inside. You got to put the cover over the car. I don't know what do you got to do? You got to put out the fire in the fireplace. Go do that now because you don't want to wait until the big winds start coming through. Right now, we're only seeing 13-mile-per-hour gusts apparently in this exact spot. There you go. You can see how much worse that's actually getting as the winds continue to get stronger and stronger. My goodness, y'all. I don't know whose back porch that is, or I would call them. These guys are probably in their tornado shelter, right? Maybe they forgot. I don't know. That's a power line? That's not a power line. That's literally a little fire pit. I saw it earlier when it was daylight, I think. I don't know. Is it a power? It could be a power line. But I could have sworn I saw a fire pit earlier. Anyways, the point here is that if you've got a fire going on outside, it's going to get blown all over the place. So go put it out. Daggone it. Wow, more tornado damage near Shreveport, Louisiana. This actually looks pretty significant down here. Thank you to Ryan for sending this in. My goodness. Bro. I guess the good news is the winds haven't gotten here yet. But yeah, that's that's in the Radar Omega app. There's 1,000 of you watching in there. But I've got to get back to the radar here. We've got a new destructive severe thunderstorm warning for Kaufman County, Texas. And here's a look at Melissa, Texas, north of McKinney. And this is a video from Chris Dyer. Wow.
Here we go.
By the way, not recommended standing with your garage door open and in a destructive severe thunderstorm. It's definitely a fire pit. We watched the guy put the logs on. Oh, I thought I knew I wasn't imagining that. Well, hopefully the rain puts it out before the winds get much worse, because they are going to get much worse. That first little gust front came through, and now the real deal is going to move right towards that area there. So my God. By the way, that new destructive severe thunderstorm warning, it does include Terrell and Oak Ridge along I-20 to the south and east of Dallas. And here's an update on the Dallas skyline camera. We really can't see anything now. Okay. That was a glitch, I'm pretty sure. I don't think the lightning's that intense, but definitely some frequent lightning here in Dallas. You can't even see the skyline now as the heavy rain is starting to kick in. All right, we got an official report from Dallas of a 76 mile per hour wind gust. This was an official National Weather Service observation. Dallas Love Field measured 76 miles per hour. Guys, that's going to cause very significant damage here. Those winds haven't made it the old boy's house yet with the logs and the fire. Yes. So Fort Worth, the worst is past you now. We're now focused on Dallas here. Some of the stronger winds are getting ready to come up into Midlothian, Oakleaf, DeSoto, Dallas, Highland Park, Mesquite, and then Garland and Sash and Murphy over the next little bit. McKinney, you just got them. Now Princeton and Farmersville is next in line. Okay. We still got a tornado warning down here for areas south and east of Dallas now. That includes Hutchins, Riley, and Kleberg, and Wilmer and Patrick. So please take shelter now if you guys are in that vicinity. We are up to 189,000 people without power now in Texas. Most of those coming around Denton County, Tarrant County, Dallas County, and Parker County. Dallas County had 10,000 people without power just 5 minutes ago. Now it's got 20,000 people without power. That number is going to continue to go up dramatically as these strong, damaging winds continue to cause major problems here. And we've got a down truck on 820 heading into Dallas. So that's probably a pretty common sight that we're going to see along I-35 and I-20 with flipped over semi-trucks.
Damaging winds, okay?
This was just now. All right, this was just now at Dallas Love Field from Jackie Fryer. Wow. This is where we got that 76 mile per hour wind gust report too. Dang. It's reminiscent of hurricane footage. Holy smokes. This was 15 minutes ago in Glen Heights, Texas. Escoto, thank you so much for sending that in. Okay, things are ramping up here in this radar Omega cam, the back porch cam. The good news is the fire hasn't spread, but I think it is being put out by the heavy rain now. Hopefully that'll continue to be the case. And the winds don't impact it too much. The DFW tower was evacuated. Yeah, and I see them like there's all kinds of reports coming in, guys. I see all of the reports of the power flashes, lots of power flashes on the leading edge of the dangerous winds that are just worked into Dallas and now are moving past Dallas. We're going to continue to see strong winds and a very impressive thunderstorm through Dallas for the next several minutes. But now it's the eastern suburbs that we've got to worry about, like Murphy, Garland, Rockwall, Forney, Mesquite, Heartland, Crandall, Ferris, and Scurry, and Palmer, Oakleaf. All these places are next in line to get some of these incredibly strong winds here as the storm continues to crank off to the east. 63 mile per hour wind gust observed at Dallas Executive Airport just moments ago. And then we got a 76 at Dallas Love Field. So it looks like the northern side of Dallas might have gotten a little bit stronger winds than the southern side. Nevertheless, everybody is getting in on some incredibly strong winds tonight in Dallas. Dallas, Highland Park, and Murphy over the next little bit.
Hey, Ryan.
And Sosh and Murphy over the next little bit.
Hey, Ryan. I'm also Ryan. It's Saxy, not Sosh. Thanks, brother.
I love this new trend where you guys are just like sending me videos on how to pronounce it. That's actually super helpful. I've already forgot those, so I have to watch it again. Saxby, right?
And then Garland and Sosh and Murphy.
Sosh, I said Sosh.
Hey, Ryan. I'm also Ryan. It's Saxy, not
Saxy.
Sosh.
Okay.
Thanks, bro.
All right. Well, hey, man, you're getting ready to get hit by some really strong winds here up there in Saxy, in Texas. And thanks. Thanks for the help with the pronunciation. I have a lot of a hard time with that sometimes, especially trying to cover the weather for everybody across the U.S. Sometimes there will be a place that spells it exactly like that, and it's actually pronounced Sakahizi or something. And people are like, wow, why didn't you know that? But anyways, things are about to get pretty wild up there with some of the stronger winds. You're under destructive severe thunderstorm warning, and we still have this tornado warning just to the south of Balch. I guess that's Balch Springs and Mesquite, and that's going to continue to go through Riley, Kleberg, and Siegelville in the southeastern Dallas area over the next little bit. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, I'm watching Waxahachie, I believe is how you say that, to the south of the Dallas metro. There's once again, I'm watching the entire line here, and I still think there's a good chance that some gust natives, literally, land spout tornadoes that spin up on the leading gust front, and it looks like that's an area of concern and low level rotation as it passes over the city there. In addition, we also have those considerable severe thunderstorm warnings all the way down through Austin, Texas now, and areas to the north of that, Round Rock and Georgetown. And I think that also want to reiterate that San Antonio, Texas metro is going to see strong winds, whether or not you have heavy rain with that or not. So it's going to be very, really gusty out there for the I-35 corridor as it comes up here. So watch out for gust nados. Take this line of severe thunderstorms seriously. Those gust nados are probably going to be weaker than any possible tornado would be, but they're not to be messed around with. So I would recommend taking us with you to your safe spot. Take some shoes and your pets too, and hang out for a while.
All right. Thank you very much, meteorologist Andy Hill, for the update there. Taking us south to take a look at what's going on over here near San Antonio. Strong storms forming off to the west. Strong storms forming off to the west, and those will continue to move east. We're unsure if these will actually impact the greater San Antonio area. Almost certainly on the northern side, but even if they don't, like Andy said, this huge front is going to bring about some very strong winds into San Antonio as we go later into the evening. We have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Austin, Texas. Get ready. It's coming within the next 45, 50 minutes or so. You're probably going to start seeing some of those winds. It could get up to 70 miles per hour as the storm moves through. Now, Temple, you're also under a considerable severe thunderstorm warning in Temple, Texas for 70 mile per hour winds. Waco, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60 mile per hour winds. And then all the way up here towards Waxahachie and Dallas, where we're watching this incredibly powerful storm come through, we are still under our considerable and destructive severe thunderstorm warnings. And on top of that, we are watching areas of rotation on the front side of this that could lead to gustnados. And that is something that we want to try to point out to you, because it's not all wind, it's not all hails, it's not all just tornadoes. There's multiple different threats that are coming out of the storm, and we want you to be prepared for absolutely all of them. I really appreciate everybody for helping me get the word out tonight. Super huge shout out to Zach Z for the very generous super chat. It says, thanks y'all for what you do from Taylor, Texas. Guys, everybody say thank you to Zach. Really appreciate that. Tenor River Fishing says, east of Medina, Texas, looks like something's about to go down. Well, something is about to go down, and there's nobody that can escape it, really. This line right here, everybody east of that is going to get whacked tonight by a significant severe weather event. We could be talking about tornadoes, damaging winds, hail. Something is going to happen tonight, and there's no avoiding it. So just keep that in mind as this line of storms continues to march off to the east. seeing some strong storms start to pop up around Fort Smith and Little Rock as well. We'll have to watch these for the potential for some of these to try to rotate. But for the most part, these are just bringing heavy rain right now and lots of lightning. I'm very impressed by this fire pit. Didn't cause any problems. The winds are still going to be picking up around there, though, for the next little bit. Also, I'm hearing a lot of schools are closing in and around Tennessee and Kentucky tomorrow due to the threat for severe weather. Actually, a lot of the schools in my county here are closed. Oh my goodness. There's a light pole in the street. Look, everybody's having to drive around it. Weather is making things dangerous. A light pole is down on 35 East near the merge with Airport Freeway in Dallas. This can happen anywhere right now, so do yourself a favor and stay in. Yeah, imagine you're the first one to come up on that. That's a pretty dangerous situation if you don't see it. Obviously, the rain's like crazy.
Hey, Ryan, it's Brad. Just wanted to let you know we are headed west right now. We are headed towards the Paris, Texas area. It appears like there may be a little bit of a kink in there, maybe even an embedded supercell headed towards the city of Paris. That would line up with possibly producing a tornado. It's right there on the boundary. So that needs to be watched pretty closely. It looks like there may be even a little bit of low-level rotation in it, but we should be in Paris pretty soon. We're headed west right now.
Okay, so that was Storm Chaser Brad Arnold. He's in Texarkana. He's heading west. Remember, Storm Chaser Brad Arnold is the tornado whisperer, so we always listen when Brad speaks. He says that he's watching this storm near Bonham in Texas. A little kink in the line there. A little bit of low-level rotation. That is going to move up towards Paris, Texas, and we'll keep an eye on it for you. And, of course, Brad Arnold's on his way to actually show the tornado to us if there is one as it moves through that area there. What an incredible active evening tonight of severe weather. Let's see. Spitting Facts says, thank you, Ryan and Yall on his team for being lifesavers to so many. Andy, thank you. Thanks for the Round Rock call out. Yeah. Thank you, Spitting Facts, for that. Kaiser, please learn how to say Terrell. Am I saying it wrong? Please learn how to say Terrell before the storm hits Terrell. If I said it wrong, let me know how to say it right. K-Web, thanks. How much longer until it's past Cedar Hill? It feels like my roof is going to come off. If you're in Cedar Hill, Cedar Hill, it's almost over. Okay. Now, whenever this line of storms gets past you, there's still going to be an area of winds that are going to be pretty intense. Okay. It's not directly correlated with the brightness of the colors on the radar here, but things are about to start calming down for you there in Cedar Hill. Okay. And just bear with us. Stay in your safe spot. It'll be over soon. And we got a new tornado warning, I believe.
A new
Yeah.
tornado warning.
That's going to be
has
for
been issued.
Bell and Coryell County in Texas. Bell and Coryell County in Texas. That's farther south down the line. It's hard to keep up these days. Okay, so okay. Yeah, so that's going to be for this area right here near Mound, Cold Springs, the Grove, and these areas. Let me show you the actual polygon. That's your newest warning there. This is south and west of Waco, north and east of Killeen. And that's our new tornado polygon right there. Please take shelter if you're in any of those areas. Got a 64-mile-per-hour wind gust report from McKinney, Texas. Carroll. Okay. Black Wolf says from North Carolina, but thank you for the lives you saved. Black Wolf, thank you. Thank you for the, you didn't have to do that. Kathy says, well, she's been a member for 7 months. Thank you for the information on gifting memberships. When I click, I get stickers, super chat. Absolutely love the group and everything. Ryan, hey, Kelly or Kathy, sorry. Thanks so much for the support. I really appreciate y'all. I do want to get back into the radar coverage here, and I'm hoping we can find a second for me to look at the forecast for tomorrow, because I know there's a lot of people concerned. They're closing schools in Kentucky ahead of this thing tomorrow. All right. So I do want to look at that for y'all here in a second. But I mean, there's just so much going on right now. Kim said, this is my sister's place in Bedford, Texas. It looks like a tree came through the house in Bedford, Texas there. This is why we ask you to get to shelter in a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, because this is what can happen. It doesn't take a tornado to do this, y'all. It does not take a tornado to do this. Oh boy. This is from Shreveport earlier today. It looks like this one and the one that Brad Arnold caught were probably the most significant tornadoes that we've seen today. And both of them were happening in like without a warning for a while, which is nuts. Scary to think about. New tornado warning for Fannin and Lamar counties in Texas. And that's the storm that Brad Arnold is after. That's the one that he called out earlier. And that's the one that I'm going to show you right now on the radar through the Radar Omega app. It's going to be hard to do that, though, because there's a radar hole up here. And thank goodness for Brad, because if this does end up causing a tornado up here somewhere between Paris and New Oberlin or Monkstown or any of these places, we ain't going to be able to tell you much just from these colors on the radar, because we're going to lose it. But Brad Arnold may be able to give us a sense of what's happening here. Here's the polygon: Honey Grove, Roxton, and Sumner in Texas, all under tornado warnings. Please take shelter now. We got tornado warnings down here in South Central Texas as well for Killeen and Oglesby. And then we got this considerable and destructive severe thunderstorm warnings all up and down I-35. Interstate 35 south of Dallas to Round Rock right now over the next hour is about to be the worst place on earth. I would hate to be anywhere along that interstate corridor over the next little bit. We've got hurricane force winds, quarter size hail, potential tornadoes getting ready to cross the interstate over a 300 or 400 mile zone. So yeah. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Ryan, my next area of concern approaching the I-35 corridor is just to the north of Georgetown, which is north of Round Rock. It's headed towards Serenata and Williamson County. You'll see that little kink in the line there. That's got my eye.
Okay, Andy, let's go check it out. Near Round Rock, little kink in the line here. Oh yeah, I see it. That right here near Hunt Crossing is going to be a problem, I think, near Georgetown. So no warning yet, but let's go ahead and give a heads up for places like Gravis, Strickland Grove, Jarrell, and maybe even the I-35 corridor between New Cornhill and Weir in Texas. Okay, get ready. There might be a spin-up tornado that tries to happen here and over the next little bit. And every frame looks a little bit more convincing there. So definitely get ready near Sun City. This is a pretty populated area here. I see tons of cul-de-sacs.
Hey, Ryan, it's Brad. Do I happen to get brownie points for calling that tornado warning before it was actually warned on that one headed to Paris? Just asking.
Brad, I can't even tell you how many brownie points you have. How many more do you want, man?
I mean, just like 1 or 2 would be fine. Then I could go home being happy.
That's Brad Arnold, our MVP storm chaser there. On his way to Paris, Texas, where there is also a tornado warned storm heading towards there. I think that we might see a new warning pop up down here near Georgetown. Whenever we get the notification for that, we'll come back down here to it. In the meantime, we've got a tornado warning for the Grove, Moffett, Whitehall, and Pendleton in Texas. This is north and west of Temple. We're watching this one closely. Waco, Texas, you're getting ready to get hit by 60-mile-an-hour winds. This will probably happen within the next 45 minutes or so. Just make sure you are prepared for that. We've got a strong storm going through Waxahachie right now. And then Terrell, you're about 15, 20 minutes out from seeing a dangerous storm come through with potentially 80-mile-per-hour winds, as that destructive severe thunderstorm warning is still in place. All right. And then, of course, we're watching this tornado warned storm up here near Honey Grove and Roxton and High and Wyndham in Texas. Please take shelter if you're anywhere in Fannin or Lamar counties in Texas. And that's not all. There's more. Let's zoom out. My goodness, we've got a lot of weather happening tonight. Heavy rain, extremely heavy rain up here in northern Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma. It's probably going to cause a pretty significant flash flooding risk here over the next little bit through the I-40 and 30 corridor in Arkansas up towards Memphis. I know we had a pop-up on the screen earlier about the Weather Prediction Center's moderate risk for excessive rainfall. If somebody can drop the graphic for that in the chat, I will show that. Sorry, it's getting about that time of stream where I lose the ability to talk. We got a mesoscale discussion here. The risk for substantial damaging winds and a few tornadoes will continue across central and northeastern Texas and far southeastern Oklahoma this evening. And here's that risk for excessive rainfall. If you're in the red or the yellow there, I would be very concerned about flash flooding over the next 24, 36 hours. There's going to be a lot of rain here, guys. A lot. Hydrate. Good idea. Good idea. I'm going to get me a gallon of water. I'll be right back. Andy, if you got anything, floor is yours.
You got it, Ryan. In
A new
fact,
tornado warning
you
has
know,
been
Brad
issued.
Arnold's getting brownie points, but there's just a new tornado warning issued about to come through if it's not on top or right next to me already for that Williamson County spin up tornado I called out just to the east now of Serenata. It's about to pass over Interstate 35. So Weir, Granger, Circleville, and Jonah, you guys are in that tornado warning to the east of I-35. It's probably going to track straight towards Granger, Texas. So that's what I'm looking at now. All right, guys. We got 2 Nader Whisperers on the team. Let's go. All right. In addition to that, I think if you're still watching in Fort Worth, you should be fine now. There may be some slightly gusty winds behind the line and those in that moderate rain. So make sure you're paying mind to that. But for the most part, except for the southeastern side of the Dallas Metro, you guys are looking fine, getting out of the gustiest winds there in the Metro, especially the northern edge of the Metro. So Rockwell, Kaufman, and areas around there to the east of I-45 and south of I-20, we'll continue to see some heavy winds for a while now, gusty winds for a while now. And of course, we still got that tornado warning up north. Honestly, props to Brad for calling that one. It doesn't look that great on radar anymore, though, so I think he got lucky with the frame he called, just by the way. But that tornado warning includes Honey Grove and areas just immediately west of Paris in Lamar County. So Paris, not yet directly in a tornado warning, but your county is, and you will likely be in the path of the next warning should the National Weather Service opt to continue that warning. So that's what I expect for that area up there along Highway 82 running to the east of Honey Grove and Bonham. How's that water, Ryan?
Oh, yeah, I'm back. Hi, 1 second. Okay. You guys told me to hydrate. So I ain't going to play around, you know. I'm hydrating the right way. Straight from the gallon. Because I'm going to need it, man. I feel like we're going to be here for a little while longer as things are continuing to look more and more concerning all up and down this line. I mean, I think we're going to have an entire night here of spin up tornadoes and damaging winds all the way through the moderate risk area and even extending much farther south than that, including into this new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued here near Mexia, Gun Barrel City, Fairfield, all up and down the I-45 corridor there between Fairfield and Rice in Texas. So get ready for that. Dallas, Fort Worth, you guys it's exiting the area now. There's still gonna be some strong winds and some lightning and some heavy rain for probably the next hour or more, but things are gonna start winding down a little bit. We got emergency managers reporting a 68 mile an hour wind gust in Dallas. We've got a 76 mile an hour wind gust in Dallas and a 63. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any more reports or any damage reports coming in just yet from Dallas, but it certainly looks like Fort Worth so far has a lot more of those kind of reports coming in. So we will keep you updated on that as well. Williamson County, Texas is under a tornado warning. Here's that one north of Round Rock. This is including Granger, Keelersville, Friendship, Elm Grove, and Laneport. Central Williamson County in Central Texas. This is the one that Andy called out earlier. And this is now, you're under a warning. If you're in Granger, Texas, take shelter now. This is north of Round Rock. But in Round Rock, you guys are going to get some very strong winds here, probably in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour over the next little bit. So make sure you're getting ready for that. Jarrell, Texas, we called that town out earlier. It looks like a strong line of storms is going to go through here, but the tornado warned section of the storm is going to stay south of Jarrell. Okay. And then the storm that Brad Arnold is on his way to near Paris, Texas, the tornado warning up here. Once again, we can't see it really on radar, and what we can see of it, it doesn't look that great. It doesn't look that concerning, I guess I should say. But as we saw earlier, it doesn't have to for it to produce a tornado. So we'll see what happens whenever Brad gets there. We got damage to buildings in Celeste. That's in Hunt County, Texas. That's a report coming in. Man, that smells good. God. Carly got dinner. And she's offered some for me. But I ain't that hungry. Well, I wasn't until I smelled that. Phew. I wonder if I can take a brief moment here to look over the models for tomorrow. Just briefly, I'm going to jump right back into the live watching the radar mode, obviously. Are you guys okay with that if we look at the forecast and then jump back into this? I know, how many people do we have watching in like Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia, areas east? Okay, because these storms are going to continue to move east tonight, and they're going to cause problems and tomorrow, and I want to update you guys on those problems. Also, look, there's snow. I forgot about that. We got a whole snowstorm that we need to update people on. John says, thanks from Elgin, Texas. We love all y'all. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you, John. Wow, All Elite Racing is now an official sponsor. Thank you so much. That's a big deal. Thank you for that. Hey Ryan, next time someone catches you on how to pronounce something, you ought to hit them with on how. Okay, yeah, I definitely will. Yeah, there's some places in Kentucky that y'all definitely wouldn't get right on the first try. I really appreciate all the support. Becky says, appreciate your channel very much. Shout out from Abilene, Texas. Thank y'all. Okay. All right. Let's look at the forecast. Then we're going to jump right back into covering this extremely dangerous current situation. But we have to forecast. We got a nowcast and we got a forecast. We got to do both. We got some HER data coming in. The high resolution rapid refresh model. Oh boy. Okay, so this is essentially what the radar could look like as we go into the future. All right, we could obviously see this around 10 p.m. tonight. This is Eastern. We're going to see the very strong line of storms obviously continue on its current trajectory. We're going to see the warm front continue to cause storms and extremely heavy rain over here in Arkansas. And by the way, we got a brand new tornado warning for Bell, Coryell, and Falls County in Texas. That's just south of Waco. So I do want to go look at that for y'all. Give me just a second. Yeah, so now we've got Bruceville, Eddy, Moody, and Troy under tornado warnings, areas just south of Waco in Texas. So that's your new tornado warning. I don't see anything crazy, anything to like zoom in on here on the velocity. So I'm gonna just say respect the polygon. Everybody in that warning, please take shelter now. But we are going to come back to this
new
as soon as we're
tornado
done with our
warning
little
has been
forecast
issued.
here. So yeah, tornado warning for Bell, Coryell Falls, and McLennan County in Texas. Take shelter now. All right, now let's come back over here to the models. This is what the radar could look like tonight around 10 p.m. Watch what happens as I push it into, let's say, 2 a.m. All right, we're going to see the storms continue to push out of Texas. It's going to be over for everybody in Texas by at least 2 a.m. tonight. It'll be moving into central Louisiana and Arkansas. But at this point, the tornado threat and the damaging wind threat is going to start to go down a little bit. All right. And at this point, I think the number one thing that we're going to have to be watching out for is rain, like just flooding. I think Arkansas up there into southern Missouri. I mean, this is going to be a flash flood hotspot. Okay. So make sure you're prepared for that. And then let's move over to the east as we go through the overnight hours into the early morning hours on Friday. Things calm down a lot on the severe weather side, but we still have strong winds possible from central Arkansas down into Louisiana. And of course, we have a chance of tornadoes anywhere in this warm front zone. Okay. It doesn't have to be a discrete supercell. It doesn't even have to be a QLCS squall line tornado. Like things can happen in these kind of systems that cause tornadoes, especially as new storms build up in the warm sector and then throw themselves up into this big mess of rain that's happening up here. We will see probably a couple tornadoes in that transitionary period somewhere in the Arkansas area, maybe even over towards Memphis. But for the most part, the severe threat goes down the farther we go into Friday morning. But what happens as we go later into the day on Friday? Here we are around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. A very sharp cold front is going to start forming here. Cooler air is going to start piling in on this huge warm sector. All right. We got huge amounts of increased dew points and temperatures piling up over here in Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Then we have colder air forcing that up and causing thunderstorms. And those thunderstorms are going to be capable of producing damaging winds and tornadoes as they move up into Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama. And now, once again, it looks a little bit more concerning for northern portions of Georgia. I see more convection this time, and even into the Carolinas, where, my goodness, we could see, once again, more significant severe weather. This is this is not good. Hold on. My goodness. Look, this is the significant tornado parameter here. And once again, it's high, man. It's way high. Basically, what this is showing us is areas where the atmosphere is capable of producing tornadoes. And the really dark reds and the bright purples and stuff, it's more than capable. It's actually favorable for tornado genesis. What was that? Did y'all hear that? I thought something happened there. Anyways, this is a pretty significant signature here for maybe having some tornadoes tomorrow. We got a big warm sector getting cleaned out. Let's see here. What else can we look at? Obviously, we can look at the lower level jet. That's going to be nuts, of course. Shoot, man. Like this could. Here's the thing. It's also pretty. You heard the beeping? Okay. I don't know what that was. Did I turn that on? Okay, that's coming from the Radar Omega app. I don't think I meant to turn that on. Oh, it's definitely off. So I don't know. Anyways, this is basically tomorrow is looking pretty daggone concerning. I don't want to sugarcoat it, but it's conditional, right? It's one of those things where the ceiling is very high. It could be a pretty significant severe weather day. It could, I mean, this could be a tornado outbreak kind of day. But it also could be similar to what we saw happen out in East Texas, right? Where the parameter space was really high for tornadoes today. And there were a few, but the real actual like worst case scenario didn't happen for one reason or another. There's a lot of different factors: low instability, quick motion of the storms, and it's pretty much the same thing that happened today. Maybe too much wind shear could be something that keeps tornadoes from happening tomorrow. But if things fall into the right place and the right storm forms, I believe that this kind of environment will definitely produce a couple the big tornadoes tomorrow, somewhere in Kentucky, Tennessee, and maybe even into northern Alabama, down into Georgia, and then maybe even into the Carolinas,
A new
into
tornado
the Piedmont
warning
area.
has been issued.
We got a new tornado warning for Bell County, Texas, in Milam County, Texas. We're going to take a look at that right here in a second. But I also want to quickly note the snow. Heavy snow breaking out on the backside here. This thing has shifted way south, man. I think this was bullseye in Chicago last night. Now it looks like Chicago is going to be on the northern side of this. Still a ton of snow, probably likely here for portions of northwestern Indiana into southern Michigan. That's going to continue into Canada. And of course, we do think there's going to be a good amount of snow up here in upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine as well. All right. So let's take a look at that newest tornado warning. North of Round Rock, we've got another one. There's a couple different areas of rotation trying to spin up here between Granger and Holland. So we've got a new tornado warning for Davila, Valverde, and Rogers and Buckholtz in Texas. Please take shelter now. Still got a tornado warning in Moody, or for around Troy and Moody, moving up towards Lorena and Mooresville as well. Waco, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. You're getting ready to get hit by 60-mile-per-hour winds. Get ready for that. Mahia and Corsicana and Gun Barrel City, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. And Terrell, you guys are getting ready to get hit by some strong winds as well. I don't know where or why that beeping is happening. I've got this. This is the sound, right? That's the sound. It's turned off.
Ryan, do you have it on for winter storm warnings, perhaps?
Winter storm warning. No, that's not even an option. Maybe I do on this instance. Oh, I don't know, man. I'll try to. I closed one of the instances of the program, so maybe that'll solve it. We'll see. And we do have a tornado warning still in effect for areas just west of Paris, Texas. And Brad Arnold is on his way to that one. Philip Philip, thank you so much. He says, thanks for all that you do, Ryan. Keep up the great work. Which Radar Omega subscription would you recommend? So first of all, if you download the Radar Omega app, that's all you need. You don't need a subscription. But if you want the extra features, if you want the models, the smoothing, the this, the that, oh my God, that didn't work. If you want all that extra stuff, any of the subscriptions are fine. Obviously, I have the top one, and it's awesome. It's great. But just read through the list, pick what you want, and go with that one. A lot of people think you have to have a subscription, though, but you don't. It is a one-time purchase. Bro. All right, I'm closing out of the program. And we'll see if it still happens. Maybe I'm playing a video somewhere of a radar loop. Closing out of everything. If you're just now tuning in, guys, we're doing a continuous severe weather coverage here of a very dangerous line of storms that's tracking across Texas. We've got multiple tornado warnings. In fact, we have 4 right now. We have a huge tornado watch, a severe thunderstorm watch, multiple considerable severe thunderstorm warnings, and flash flood warnings starting to come out now. We also have a team of some of the best storm chasers on earth, giving us live feeds here. We've seen multiple tornadoes today form right in front of our eyes through these guys. And now we're kind of waiting to see what happens next with this line of storms. It's continuing to produce damaging winds as it moves towards Texarkana, Tyler, and Bryan, for example, in Texas. But we still think there's a pretty good chance, especially around this bend here in south, I guess, eastern Oklahoma, central portions of Arkansas, northeastern Texas. I think there's still a pretty good chance that we see another or a couple more tornadoes here before the tornado threat completely dies down. And then, of course, all along this line, we're going to see those continued spin up tornadoes as well. So we're going to be here with you throughout the night, really, giving you updates on what's going on out there. Okay. And we do have storms coming through the Austin, Texas area as well. And Shane RWX has sent us this camera so we can keep an eye on those. It looks like it's frozen right now, though. We currently have 332,000 people without power in Texas. A whole lot of those are coming out of Dallas County. There's over 100,000 people just in Dallas County that don't have power. Collin County, we got 53,000. Tarrant County, we got 99,000. Parker County got 13,000. So a lot of places over here in Texas around DFW are without power. You're sitting on a beeper? No. No. Omega won't show multi-radars unless you sub. What does that even mean? What's a multi-radar? Like, you can definitely switch between radars. Let's do another radar breakdown, by the way. We still got a tornado warning for Rogers and Buckholtz down here. Oh, my God. There it is again. Bro. What am I doing? You guys said check new scan audible alert. It's off. It's already off. That's off. That's off. That's off. That's off. That's off. 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 What if I turn all weather alerts off for a second? Oh, we can't do that. We got to see the polygons. We got to see the polygons. And we also might just have to live with the beeping. Maybe that's a good thing. Hey, pay attention. We got a severe thunderstorm warning for Mahia and Gun Barrel City, 60-mile-an-hour winds possible with that. The newest one is actually up here for Sulphur Springs, and that's going to be for 70-mile-per-hour winds as the storm moves east out of Dallas. Storm chaser Brad Arnold is visible right here in the Radar Omega app, moving on Highway 82 towards Paris. He thinks that this storm right here could be the one to watch now, as it might be producing a tornado just to the west of town. Tomorrow is March 3rd, and Middle Tennessee has an enhanced risk. March 3rd, 2020 is when Nashville got the historic tornado. Stay safe, everyone. Yeah, it does look like tomorrow will be a pretty significant day in and around the Nashville area. Don't know if it'll be a repeat of that, obviously, but definitely something that we've got to watch out for. Jackson says, I wonder if they will upgrade to moderate risk tomorrow. The winds are going to be crazy tomorrow. It's possible that we see a moderate risk tomorrow. I don't know for sure if that's gonna happen or not, but we could that could definitely be something that we have to deal with here. Try new scan audible alerts in radar settings or satellite settings. Yeah, it's off. It's all off. On, off. And the audible alert for the new scan, it sounds like somebody's sneezing. It doesn't do the beeps. It's like phew, or something like that. Do we have anybody watching from around Lexington or Elgin, Texas? I think that you guys are going to also get in on some pretty strong winds here, and you'll see most of them before the line of storms actually comes in. You can see the outflow boundary a little bit, kind of the gust front getting way out in front of these storms near Round Rock. Huge severe thunderstorm warning here for Cameron, Texas, Calvert, Thornton, Groesbeck, all these places in Texas. Please get ready for a very strong bout of winds. It's getting ready to come in. And they just issued another severe thunderstorm warning all the way out towards Mount Pleasant and Tyler, Texas. So that's going to be something. Something else to watch over the next little bit is stuff like this. Up here in Arkansas, remember how I was talking about this bend, right? Whenever the storms are more oriented this way, they're able to ride along the warm front, right? And this could be something that happens with a storm like this. So we'll have to watch it. It is trying to rotate a little bit. It's not doing anything crazy just yet, but this is something near Buck Knob that we have to watch very closely as we go into the near future. That actually might be something that we have to watch extremely closely here. Good idea. I can mute the app in my settings and just through Windows. Boom. Boom. Yeah, it's probably something that I'm just not paying good enough attention to. Ryan, please shout out BPW Logistics. We need freight agents that watch your channel. Eric, Ryan, the buzzer is going off when people send super chats. No, that can't be right. I am moving to San Antonio this year from South Dakota. Cody, get ready for some big hail. We saw it last night. March 2nd, 2012, with the Eastern Kentucky tornado outbreak, and now 11 years later, we have another chance. I don't know if it's going to be that. I really don't want to overhype tomorrow. I mean, definitely there's a huge possibility that something happens out here in the Kentucky, Tennessee area, but we're getting dangerously close. Talking about the Nashville 2020 tornado, the March 2012 tornadoes, we're getting dangerously close to overhyping the situation. What I don't want to do is have a bunch of people talking about that. Schools closed down, hospitals closed. I don't know. They close the roads, and then the worst case scenario doesn't happen, because then maybe the next time we have some high space parameters, maybe a high risk or something like that, people won't take it seriously either. So there's definitely a very good chance that we see a significant severe weather event tomorrow. And I'm going to do everything I can to keep you updated on that. But we can't make any predictions as to how significant it's going to be. Is there a tornado near Waco? There is a tornado warning near Waco. Is there a tornado near Waco? That's hard to say. I don't know. I don't think so. What they're doing here, what we're seeing is that we've got a really strong line of storms moving through Waco, and there's all these little kinks in the line, right? Little areas where air can get out in front and start rotating with the inflow and the outflow coming out of the storm. And they're getting ahead of those by issuing tornado warnings, which is very smart. It's a life-saving move from the National Weather Service. But I'm not sure if those are actually producing tornadoes or not. This one's a little bit more significant right here. So significantly south of Waco, near Davila, over here towards Cummings Crossing. You guys got to watch out for that one for sure, because that is a big punch out. That's going to try to produce a tornado there. Even if it's brief, could be pretty significant as that moves up towards, once again, Buckholtz in Texas. Looks like a lot of our storm chasers have moved up to the north and up here along this warm front. Remember, like I said, there's a couple different areas to watch for tornadoes as we go through the rest of the night, but they're all up in this general vicinity. The warm front's going to provide an opportunity for that, but then also this part of the cold front coming through is also going to be another area to watch. So I'm highly concerned about that zone right now. Yeah, that's probably going to produce a tornado. You guys seeing this? Right there. Tons of air coming in. I don't like the look of that. This is near Sharp in Texas. That is, you're under a tornado warning already in Sharp, but that was issued a while back for a completely different rotation area. So, not sure if they're going to redo the warning or not, but if they don't, just know that you need to stay in your safe spot for sure. We're up to 350,000 people without power in Texas now. Looks like there was a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust reported out of Garland, Texas, up here towards Greenville, also 60 miles per hour. We had damage to buildings in Celeste. So still a lot of damage reports coming in. Character says, are you going live tomorrow as well? My whole family lives in the Carolinas. So there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to go live tomorrow, but it might not be in this format. I might actually be the storm chaser because I live up here in Kentucky. So not very often that I get a chance to go. But we'll still try to have somebody. Hopefully we'll have Andy around. I don't know. We'll definitely try to have something worked out to where if I do go storm chasing, obviously I can go live from the vehicle, but we'll have more than just a view out my dash. You know what I mean? What's in the forecast for Memphis? Chris, the forecast for Memphis is mostly rain and heavy rain and flooding. I think that's going to be the biggest problem that we see up there. There is a conditional threat for tornadoes and some strong winds tonight into the early morning hours tomorrow. But the main thing is going to be flooding rain, I think, in the Memphis area.
A new tornado warning has been
We got a
issued.
new tornado warning in Texas. What is that? Milam or Milam County, Texas? We'll wait for that polygon to pop up and we'll zoom right in on it. And we'll get hydrated again. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan. Actually, I wanted to talk about that new tornado warning. It's for that area you've circled, highlighted, where you're like, this could definitely produce a tornado, and that's for the Sharp, Texas area, headed towards Minerva and Cameron. But something that's really cool about that you can see from since it's so close to the radar site KGRK there, you can see actually where this is beginning to sort of bulge outward. We see a rear inflow jet that's pushing this part of the
A
line
new
of
tornado
storms
watch has been
further
issued.
along faster than the rest of it. And so the outflow boundary, that gust front that's to the south of it, is actually just kind of getting wrapped up into it as a result of that, because it's outpacing the rest of the line. So it's kind of riding on a boundary just because that part of the line has the most powerful dynamics pushing it out ahead. And that's kind of why we're seeing this tornado genesis occurring on or a potential tornado genesis occurring at the northern part of where this is bowing outward. So some pretty cool dynamics that we're able to see because we're so close to the radar.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy, for the update. And just an incredible storm overall. You can see what he's talking about here with the gust front being kind of pulled around up into the big divot or the kink in the line here that is prompting our new tornado warning. This is what we talked about several minutes ago. It does look like this might actually try to produce a more significant area of rotation that's trackable. And maybe it lasts a little while as it moves up towards Minerva, Cameron, and Maysfield in Texas. Please take shelter, y'all, if you're in the path of this thing, because that looks like it could be pretty dangerous there as this is going to try to curl up and cause a tornado down here in Texas. So there are other tornado warnings as well. Actually, no, there's not. That they all just were allowed to expire. So this is going to be our main focus now until something happens up there with a more northern storm. I did want to check in on that though, just to see what's happening up here. Man, that is this is just a really strong storm up here to the south and east of Fort Smith in Arkansas. It is rotating, but it's like huge. It's just this huge rotating area. I don't think it's actually compact enough to produce a tornado, but it's definitely a sign of if something a little bit more discreet can come together in this area. We have to watch it very closely. Look at all those wind reports from around Dallas, though. All right, time to sit down. I'll never get tired of that. An area between Nashville and Louisville, Kentucky, I think would probably be the best spot, maybe, I guess, or worse, as far as like a tornado potential goes for tomorrow. Is it raining here? Okay. I think I'm hearing the air conditioner or something. Something just sounded like rain over there. Can we ask the chasers where they're going tomorrow? Sure, let's do that. Chris Hall, y'all. Man, what's your plan for tomorrow? Let us know.
Well, right now I had to stop for maybe a classic double steak burger here at Flying J. Haven't figured it out yet what I want, but we're going to sit around and wait until this squall line hits around Texarkana and see if it may interact with the outflow boundary here and maybe ramp up just a bit as it moves on off to the east. If not, I'm going to be making a long drive back to Kentucky tonight, pull a little all-nighter for tomorrow's storms.
All right. Let's ask Brad. Brad, I see you're almost to your target area there near Paris. I'm assuming you're going to stay parallel to this line, or are you going to let it hit you? What's your plan? And then also the chat is interested in your plan for tomorrow. Are you planning on coming up into Yall country or are you going to be down in Alabama? What's going on with your plan for tomorrow? Have you thought that far ahead? I think Brad's in a pretty sparse service zone, so it might take him a second to get back with us. Let's see what Bryce Shelton said. Bryce, give us an update, and also let us know what your plans are for tomorrow. Are you chasing tomorrow? Are you coming to Kentucky? What's going on out there? Guys, I live in Kentucky.
Yeah, right. Not much going on in the way right now for severe weather in central Arkansas. So I'm actually about to find me some supper and head up I-30 towards Little Rock. But yes, I am coming to the great state of Kentucky tomorrow to chase some storms.
Hey, Ryan. Yeah, we are just pretty much in between Paris and Clarksville, Texas, right up here on the Oklahoma-Texas state line. We're going back towards the area where we have seen a couple of embedded circulations within this QLCS squall line, where it's one of those kind of things where you're looking for the needle in the haystack again. We've gotten lucky a couple of times this year with that. So we're going to try it again. Main thing is we want to stay in front of it. If there's an obvious rotation, then we will obviously jump into that circulation. But right now we're kind of trying to stay in front of it a little bit. As far as tomorrow goes, unfortunately, no, I will not be chasing tomorrow. I wish that I could come up there to Yall country and chase that area. In fact, my home area is actually going to be under the gun tomorrow with a 5% tornado risk. I've got prior commitments that I've got to be to, so that comes first. But yeah, I will not be chasing tomorrow, but we're going to chase this line as long as there are tornado warnings and as long as there are severe thunderstorm warnings. We're going to stay in front of this line and try to report back to you the best that we can.
Awesome. So Brad Arnold won't be in Kentucky tomorrow, so that means there won't be tornadoes in Kentucky tomorrow. No, I'm just joking. They seem to always be where he is, though. So so Brad Arnold, his exact location is right here. And he's going to follow this line on Highway 82 back into Texarkana and just see what's going to happen with it here. And boy, does our line down here to the south continue to look impressive. So we got that tornado warning for Minerva, Cameron, Maysfield, and Gauze in Texas. And hopefully everybody's still in their safe spot because this still could be producing a tornado here. That huge circulating area right in there is where the tornado would likely be. Massive storm system tonight, y'all. Lori says thanks for keeping us safe
Ryan,
across the board.
Just going to let you know, looking at or out of the Shreveport radar, that cell that is near Sulphur Springs is likely, that's very suspicious, right on the edge of the radar right there. I would be extremely worried that there's a tornado on the ground with that one near Sulphur Springs.
All right, so Brad is calling out this storm down here near Sulphur Springs. It does. There's definitely something happening here on the radar. Obviously, this is in the middle of a radar hole. We can't tell a whole lot about it, but there is something suspicious going on there near Sulphur Springs. So We're under a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, so we should be in our safe spots anyways in Sulphur Springs and areas near it. But we might have a sneaky little tornado trying to happen out here, and so we should get this shelter if we haven't gotten there already. It's hard to see. This is another area that is just underserved by radar coverage for whatever reason. Hopefully that Durant radar is really going to keep us from having problems like this in the future. Sulphur Springs, Texas, y'all watch out. And also areas east of that, Hatchettville, Mount Vernon. Man, how many towns are named the same thing in Texas? I guess it's such a big state. They're like, that ain't going to cause a problem. But it does. Anyways, Sulphur Springs, wind over towards Mount Vernon, Oakdale, Lakeview, Eureka, all these places. Watch this line of storms closely as it comes in. We had problems over here earlier with tornadoes. Looks like it's not over yet. I can't believe that the kind of severe weather situation that we're going to be having tomorrow in Kentucky. That's blowing my mind. We currently just have that one tornado warning right now. It's for this circulation south of Cameron, Texas. Cameron, you're getting ready to get slammed by some strong winds, okay? But the tornadic circulation is to your south, and it should stay to your south, but let's get in our safe spot regardless. We need to be getting there in Minerva, Hoyt, Liberty, Hanover, Marlow, Maysfield, and Branchville in Texas as well. Zach and Frankie, are y'all in Wendy's? Sorry if I'm interrupting your dinner, but what's your plan for the rest of the night? And are you chasing tomorrow up here in y'all country? Let us know. A lot of people in chat are asking if I'm going to go chasing tomorrow or if I will stream. I am going to go chasing and I am going to stream. How about that? An incredibly active day of severe weather today.
Our slang is Texarkana. So don't focus on the but say it fast. Texarkana. I know Texarkana sounds proper, but those of us that are from here, our slang is Texarkana. So don't focus on the but say it fast. Texarkana. I know Texarkana.
Texarkana. I can do that. That's easy for me. That sounds right. As expected, as the line gets farther and farther east, I do think that the winds are are becoming less. Now they're going from 80 miles per hour to 60, so it's still going to be a big problem. Okay, but the force of this line is getting a little bit less impressive. We are seeing a big storm in San Antonio, though. That's going to move down towards Stockdale and Seguin. Let's see here. College Station, Brian, you guys are going to get in on some of this stronger storms too. Mahia, it's getting ready to come through. And then up here on the northern side, you see how it's just kind of, it's not necessarily falling apart, but it's not as stout. And I think that's going to continue to be the case. And we're going to start to focus on the tornado threat a little bit more up here in this vicinity rather than the damaging wind threat. But like things we've passed the climax or the biggest part of the storm system for today. And we're going to go into a little bit of a lull. There will still be several severe weather events that happen tonight into tomorrow. But once we get into tomorrow around noon, things are going to ramp up really fast again. Peter R. says, why is this happening? I need answers. It's weather. Weather happens. Sometimes there's big storms. Sometimes there's little storms. This is a big one. If you really want to know why this is happening, make sure you subscribe to the channel and watch all of our videos because we explain it pretty thoroughly, sometimes a week in advance. The way this channel works is we talk about the forecast and start to narrow it down, and then we go live. And then I take a break. Sometimes I go fishing. Then I come back and we do it all over again. Or if there's anybody on LSM that is good, like that's got something going on, we can do that as well.
Town to the east of San Antonio is Seguin. Town to the east of San Antonio is Seguin.
Seguin. Okay. One of these days I'll be good at this. I don't know when. Thank you, Ryan and team, for the coverage. And thank you to the National Weather Service from Sulphur Springs sent for my bathroom. Where do you think Georgia will be the most active for tornadoes? I think that the northern part of Georgia would be the place where tornadoes would be most likely. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, LS. Thank you, Oscar. How's Louisville, Kentucky looking for tomorrow? Louisville is in the zone to potentially receive tornadoes. It's a pretty big zone, and it's going to happen so fast. It's hard to really nail it down. Like, okay, here's this circle where we've got to watch out for tornadoes. But I think that right around Nashville up to Louisville, draw a line there, right, and then draw a line from Louisville up to Huntington. No, Moorhead, Kentucky. Draw a line from Louisville to Moorhead, Kentucky, then draw that back down towards Knoxville and connect all those lines. You've got a box, and that's where I think that we have the best chance of potential tornadoes. I'll show you that box. Something about like this. Now, there was going to be some really favorable conditions for tornadoes down here into Alabama and Georgia, but there's going to be less convection. There might be more of a cap. But as we saw today, that's not always going to keep the tornadoes from happening. Wow. Wild says, trucker here again. That was a wild drive. I'd say it was. It went by Valiant, Oklahoma, and Hugo. It was a very nasty storm. Thanks for keeping me safe. I would say that was a nasty storm to drive through, man. I'd hate to do that in a big truck. Shoot. Marty Smith says, what part of Kentucky are you thinking about chasing in tomorrow? I'll probably drive out to that is a great question. That is a great question. I'll probably drive. Ugh. There's not a great option. Maybe Bowling Green. Isn't there a highway here? Hold on. Wait. This is my state. I know nothing about it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I would probably go to Glasgow, Kentucky tomorrow. Early, right? I want to be there before the storms get there. And then try my best to fall back and either go up towards Elizabethtown or maybe down towards Cookeville as the storms approach. But that could change completely tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be on the fly looking at that. Checking back in on our tornado warning down here near Cameron. The rotation has really kind of died off a little bit, which is great news, but it's still there near Hanover and Liberty. We want y'all in your safe spots down there. Thoughts on Clarksville, Tennessee tomorrow? You're in a spot that could get tornadoes. You just got to be weather aware. That's going to be, what time will that be? Yeah, so we'll start to see problems in and around Clarksville probably as early as 11 a.m. The problems will be over, though, as early as 1 p.m. The line of storms is going to go through pretty quick. That's why I've got to kind of get in front of the storms and let them come to me rather than trying to chase them down, because these storms are going to traverse across the entire state of Kentucky in 5 hours. And, you know, you can't You can't drive that fast. But my goodness, there's even a decent chance. I got to show you guys this. There's even a decent chance for tornadoes, even into eastern Kentucky. Look at that increased significant tornado parameter there. That's like over my house. And this is what the simulated radar looks like there. I mean, you literally got a curved beam right here on the simulated radar. That'd be something. I'm going to drive out here to try and see a tornado. It's going to blow by me probably. And then on my way back home, I'll be about right here. And then there'll be a tornado somewhere near the house. I hope that doesn't happen for multiple reasons. And don't worry, even though I will be chasing tomorrow, you guys will still be able to tune into the channel here for updates.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, it's Brad. Just wanting to let you know we may have a developing circulation, possible tornado west of Mount Pleasant in Texas. We're north of that right now in Clarksville. We're waiting to see a couple scans to see if we need to drop south or not.
Okay. All right. That is Storm Chaser Brad Arnold bringing our attention back over here to Texas, where it's at the garage. You go check. Make sure nothing's on fire or something. We just had a loud noise here. Everything look normal? Okay. It's not just the weather house anymore, guys. It's the haunted weather house. As I don't know what that was. Is there if there's anything at all in Arkansas or around Shreveport, Louisiana, up to Memphis, Tennessee? Like anywhere in this area? Beefy Bell says I'm in Sulphur Springs and it's bad. Yeah, it looks like the probably the strongest part of the storm right now is moving through Sulphur Springs, and that's where Brad is concerned about maybe a potential tornado occurring. So we're watching that pretty hard right now. Still looking at this area of circulation right here near Mount Vernon. So yeah, make sure if you're down here, you are paying attention to alerts. We can't really see what's happening on radar, but you can see that there is a kink, or there was, and now let's see what that looks like. It's just so hard to see because everything's so distorted. But Brad Arnold's up here. He's going to go this way and go south and probably try to investigate that to see if anything's happening there. Nevertheless, if there's not a tornado in here, we're definitely getting 60-mile-an-hour winds all the way from Clarksville to Mount Pleasant here over the next hour or so. Okay, real quick, I've got to take a brief break. I will be right back. I think Andy's not here, but if anybody else wants to chime in, the floor is yours. Otherwise, give me just a second.
Hey, Ryan, we may have a QLCS tornado just in front of us. Wait till the lightning lights it up.
Oh. Is he on our? Okay, yeah, he's up. Can you pull him into one? Definitely some suspicious stuff happening here just south of his location near Clarksville, Texas. This is Storm Chaser. Sorry. This is Storm Chaser Brad Arnold near Red River County, Texas, near Clarksville. And he thinks he might have a QLCS or a tornado that's occurring inside of a linear mode occurring right in front of him here. But we'll just have to wait for the right lightning strike to see if that's actually happening. Also, we got to remember that if we don't see it illuminated by a lightning strike, it could still be in there just behind the rain a little bit. All right, there's definitely something going on with what we can tell from the velocity scans there just to your south. So just holler at us if you see anything else.